Good morning, Stanton. We are on day 4 of the Intergalactic Expo, November 22nd, 2951. And you can see here it is the alien days. We have Asperia, Gatak, Banu, and Apoa. Unfortunately, Gatak, the only ship they have, the cargo hauling ship, not available to fly. But I'm sure if you go to the basement of the exhibit hall, you'll see in the holograms there, we'll be able to get a good look at it. I don't think I've ever seen a 3D representation, just some concept art. So I'm hoping that's there to at least look at. I haven't actually checked out the expo yet. I just got home from work. It is late into the evening now, but I'm going to give this a go. Banu makes the Banu Defender an awesome, fun ship to fly. One that really surprised me the very first time I ever got into it, because I always assumed you just climb into the cockpit seat. I wasn't expecting any type of interior, but it's got a pretty cool looking, very alien interior. Two separate cockpits that you can fly from, either one, left or right side, and it comes into such a neat shape, stretching out and widening out as you get into it. So the Banu is here. Also recently the Apoa Karthu All. This is the first time I had ever flown that ship, and all I have to say, take that ship out and just put on a pair of headphones and listen to the sound that engine makes. I cannot describe how awesome it felt to fly this ship just for how it sounds, like a low, throaty growl. That is it. So that is it for today, the alien ships. However, like any other day in the expo, if you are still looking at checking out some of the Aegis ships, all the different Titans, that if you're looking at getting those as a starter pack, the Eclipse, the Gladius, the Hammerhead, the Redeemer, what a powerful fighting ship that is. The Saber, the Comet version of the Saber, the Vanguards, all these ships still available to fly as well. So Aegis and the alien ships. And then we got to look forward to tomorrow, where Tumbril with their ground vehicles and Crusader Industries with all their ships going to be available. So what I'm going to do now, not a lot of gameplay. I'm still doing a lot of recording, but it's going to be more for after the expo, when I'm going to be putting together some more little films and some tutorials. However, I'm still earning money, still trying out the ships, still having fun, so I may be putting some stuff out over the week. But it's been so busy that I don't want to be putting out videos unless I have the time to really do it, which is why I'm doing a simple one now. What I'm going to do is go over two things. I'm going to go over game packages, really basically explaining what they are and how they work. And then I'm going to go over another thing that I recently found, which I haven't actually looked at besides the first day. So I'm going to go show that. But the first thing we're going to do is look at game packages. So the first thing I'm going to go through with game packages is just kind of explaining what that means. Right now, if you've never played Star System before and you're taking part in a free fly event, come December 1st, you will not be able to play. Although, people who have taken part in other free fly events may have things in what I refer to as their hangar. And so your hangar here, if you go to your account and you sign in, you click on my hangar. This is the hangar I'm referring to on the website, which is not the same as a hangar in the game or the hangar module, which is something entirely different. But you can see here, I took part in Citizen Con. I got some digital goodies. You may have this if you were taking part in a free event. I'm not sure if that went to backers or not. Maybe that was only backers. Day of the Var Hill Horror helmet, you could have got that. The Xenothreat armor, could have got that. The Invictus jacket. Referral bonus here. This was something from last year, a little Pico that was attributed. And anytime you click on these little arrows here, it'll show you. So here, what's in here? Just the jacket. What's in here? It's got the helmet, the undersuit, and the core. So it shows you what is in each of these things. This is a game package. It says package, or it says set, or something. There's more than one different one, but this is the Warbond version. Warbond version, the 2950 Warbond version of the Nomad, is a special one, and I'll show you why. So if I click this here, it comes with the consolidated Nomad ship. It comes with a self-land hangar. This hangar is the hangar module that I was just referring to. It was something in game where you'd have an actual physical location in game to go and store your ships and put some decorations up and make your own. But you load it into it from the main menu, and you could walk around, but no one else could come there. Eventually, the idea is that this is going to be something in-game where you can store your ships, bring them in and out. When you're setting your home base, you'd have a hangar, so the self-land is there. And other people could potentially visit this if you invite them, and they can kind of see your ships and see your decorations. Kind of like a home away from home, but currently, self-land hangars taken out of the game. The Jackal paint, this is a paint that I can apply. If you look at the Nomad here, it's kind of gray, and this one's black with the red stripes here. So this paint, any paints can be taken on and off indefinitely. So I could take this, I can make it gray, can make it black, make it gray, make it black, and go back and forth, taking it on and off, different paints. Also contains lifetime insurance. That was one of the main things, is that this came out at the expo last year, and I picked this up. I picked up a Nomad, and therefore it's got lifetime insurance as opposed to currently, I don't know if it's 6 month or 3 month, I don't know how much it is. Lifetime insurance is only going to really matter when the game is out. Right now, all ships have insurance at all points, so if you have a ship that only has 3 months insurance, 3 months from now, still has 3 months insurance. That doesn't start counting down until much later. And I went over that. I went over insurance in the CCU video I made. Also, what insurance will really entail based on all the gear you have. Like, if it's not going to insure maybe all your upgrades or different new engines, it's just maybe the base hull. No one really knows how insurance is going to operate right now, but this one has lifetime insurance. It's also got 1,000 starting money. However, if you use a referral code, like the one that's up here, you will get more money when you become a backer just by using a referral code. Now, that's something you can only do when you make your account. So hopefully when you made your account, you use the referral code, and then you get a little bit extra money. And then it has Star Citizen digital download. That is the most important thing. You could have 3, 4, 5 packs in your hangar on the website that say Star Citizen digital download, and that's fine. You need at least one. If you have a bunch of ships you bought and they don't have the Star Citizen digital download on at least one of them, unless you spend over $1,000, which is ridiculous for having to spend that much, you don't actually get access to the game. So if you bought a ship that's $500, doesn't come with the digital download, you can't play the game. You can only play with a starter pack. And so that's something very important. If you're looking to get into the game, you've enjoyed the free fly, and you want to buy something, make sure when you go to the pledge store, which is right here, you don't go to ships. If you go to ships and you buy a ship because you're like, oh, I really liked, say, flying around the Aquila. So I'm going to go here, and it's going to go buying options, and you buy this. $310. It comes with a Constellation Aquila, 120 months, so 10-year insurance, because this is the AIE version. It's normally a little bit less than that, and you get the Revel in York hangar. But that's it. So if you think, oh, I'm going to buy this, and then I can fly this in the game, you can't, because you do not have a starter pack. You need a starter pack. Your options are to buy a starter pack and CCU or upgrade to the ship you like, or to buy a starter pack with a ship and then get this. And the starter packs are really not that expensive. If you're willing to spend $300, I would assume that you could also spend the $40 for another package right now. Packages are on sale, so I'm going to go to those. That is this section here, game packages. And I'm not going to get into the packages themselves too much because there are plenty of videos, including a video for myself. I put in this description below explaining the packages, but I'll just kind of quickly go through. There are a few that are on sale. There's the Mustang and the Nomad are on sale. There's a little bit of difference between here, $40.50, $60.50. These two that are $20 more are a combination of Squadron 42, which is normally $45, and the package you're looking at. And they only have the Nomad and the Mustang. But the Nomad right now is 10-year insurance, not the lifetime of last year. Comes with a polar paint, which is a different paint. It's more like kind of like camouflage. Again, the starting money with a referral code would be more. Digital download, self-line hanger, 120-month insurance. So the insurance is still 10-year, which is quite a long time. If you're going to be playing this game for another 10 years after it releases, you'll have insurance on the ship that entire time. The Mustang itself, $40.50, as opposed to the regular price of $45. So you're saving 10% and 20% on the ship. So those ships are on sale. The big difference is that there's no Aurora this year as a starter pack. I'm not sure why the Aurora is not on a starter pack, but I do like that one as a starter. $45, $65. If you're looking at what I would recommend to get right now, if you just want to get into the verse and you're enjoying to play and you really don't know what ship you want, get an Aurora or a Mustang. But I always recommend this here is going to be an awesome deal for $60.50 if you can afford it, because this is coming with the eventual Squadron 42, which is $45 standalone currently. I'm sure when the game is finished, this price is going to be a lot higher. Who knows when Squadron 42 will be out, but you can only get it for $20 by using it as a starter pack add-on here. Now, starter packs do go up quite a bit in price. We have the Anvil Arrow, the Pisces, we have an Avengers Titan, which people love, the Cutlass Black, which is an awesome starter. This one, I don't know how much insurance it comes with. Let's see, 6 months insurance. Comes with Digital Star Mac. Oh, this is like... Is there not a different version of this? I don't know why this one is coming with all this extra stuff, but it's got Digital Star Mac, Digital Star System Manual, Star System Download, Digital Game Soundtrack. There must be a version that's not quite as expensive as that, but maybe it's not a starter pack. Maybe that was the issue. We have the FC Horde, the Mist Freelancer, a good cargo hauler. When you're getting into the Constellation Andromeda, like I said before, instead of getting the ship, if you get the actual starter pack. Now the starter pack versus the ship, it's $275. It comes with a Grey Cat PTV, a little like golf buggy to go around, the Aurora, or not Aurora, the Andromeda. It's got the hangar, Citizen download. It's got a cot, a Vandal, ribbon fish. So all these different fish that would go inside an aquarium, which will go inside your hangar. Actually, or is this one? Where the? I don't know where the. Oh, there it is. Fish tank Mark 1. So the fish tank that'll go in your hangar. I'm guessing this is another type of fish. There's a workbench. So all these are different things that are actually going to go into your hangar. So they're more like furniture that are currently not usable. 6-month insurance. So if you wanted an Aurora or a Andromeda, keep calling it Aurora, wanted an Andromeda, this is the kind of ship you would get. It needs to be a starter pack. It needs to have a Star Citizen digital download. When I went through my discussion on CCUs and melting ships and recycling them, you have to make sure you don't melt your only ship that has a starter pack, or you're not going to be able to play. So that's one of the things you got to look into this game. You can see the pack goes all the way up to $1,100. Also, there are packs that I can't see because those packs you have to be a concierge member, which means you have to have already spent $1,000 in the game. I'm nowhere near that because I do not have the money to spend that much money in game. So what I'm going to do now is I haven't really looked at the IAE website, but I'm going to go back to the first page, and you can look at the different ships that are available to buy in game. Some of them are limited sales or concept. I'll go through that. I just haven't looked at these, but I really want to see what ships are currently for sale that might not be in the pledge store. So these are ships that are not, or they'll be in the pledge store, but they're not ships that are starter packs. These are individual ships you can buy. I just wanted to see kind of what's available, what kind of prices they're asking for these ships now. So let's take a look at those. So up first is Anvil, and Anvil was the first in the show. So if you're here rated from the beginning, this is the ships you had. And this one you can see is flight ready. The Arrow, this is when I was flying around. The Ballista, surface to air. You're looking at, we'll go back to the Arrow. The Arrow is $75 if you wanted to buy it. Definitely, I would say buy things in game. Like I wouldn't spend $140 on a Ballista, surface to air land vehicle right now. But maybe in the future it's going to become more important. Maybe in the future a ground vehicle will actually be worth it, that a lot of people would buy that, or part of an org. But the Pisces is a pretty fun little ship. This is the one that I mentioned. It kind of reminds me of the Star Trek shuttlecraft. And this is one thing that you can kind of look at. The different ships fit into different kind of sci-fi type looks. And I always think that like the Pisces is always definitely a Star Trek ship, as opposed to the MSR, which is definitely more of a Star Wars ship, very heavily influenced by the Millennium Falcon. The Carrack, what an awesome ship. $600. I haven't spent that much on this game at all, and this is for one ship. But I have flown a Carrack. I do enjoy Carrack. They are such a massive, awesome, fun ship to just even explore. It was the first big ship I ever went in. Someone was climbed in the elevator with me, and then I ended up going to the wrong elevator, and he invited me to kind of fly along with him in the ship and just kind of check it out and look around. And it's awesome. It doesn't even look as big as it is in this picture, because this cockpit here, if you look closely, it's got like 2 levels. There's like a whole level of people up here and a whole level of people down here. This is a flying, massive fortress. I love the Carrack. It's an awesome ship, but $600. Oh, and it's not even my dream ship. My dream ship, oh, I'm just thinking I might actually be able to see it, because that was RSI. So we're going to look at that. We have the Crucible. Now this is an in-concept ship. This is a ship for $350, currently not in game. So in-concept means they only have just kind of started designing it. That's basically where it is. It's not even being produced in any kind of tangible way, as much as just an idea and going through the design phase. So this is a Crucible. If you get a ship in concept, it's not like you're spending $350 and you don't get anything. You get a loaner ship that is similar to the Crucible, or so at least as close to the ship as possible. So if you're getting a ship that's a freight ship, you might get a different freight ship. If you had like someone of the Hercules, I think it was the M2 was, or was it the A2 was the last one. So the A2, maybe you had like a C2 until the A2 arrived, stuff like that. So there's always loaner ships. You'll get ships that are loaned to you, and you'll be able to fly them until you're getting the Crucible. I don't know. Support heavy, support and heavy repair. I would say maybe might be like the Starfarer might be what's given as a loaner. I'm not sure, but the King's concept means the ship is going to be a ways off. You're going to be a while before you get to fly the ship. Flight ready, we got the F7C Hornet for $100, $175, $180. So all the Hornets really around $100 and $180 it looks like for these ships. The Ghost Hornet, the Gladiator, $165, nice solid ship. The Hawk, a light combat, still flight ready, $100. Hurricane, almost $200. This is a great two-person ship, as I've said before. One person in these turrets, one person flying and shooting these front guns. This is a ship that with two people can do a lot of damage. The Liberator, another in concept. This is only really shown or even announced, I believe, in the Citizen Con that just happened. And it's not really a great image here. Well, here you go. If you look at the side here, down in the corner, you can see from the front, you can drive up the front. There's going to be a ramp up here and park vehicles on the top, on the roof, and park vehicles to this way on the side. This is to move vehicles from one point to another, and for $575, personally, I don't see the value in that at the moment. But I'm starting to see it when you look at how inventory works. How right now you choose your home location, and then all your stuff is there. And if you want to move clothes or items from one place to another, you got to put them into a ship and fly them to your new location. Once jump points are a thing, I can see the Liberator being a pretty impressive thing to fly, and a really useful thing then. When I'm looking at things like insurance, if claiming a ship is only going to claim the hull and not all your upgrades, and you have a whole fleet of upgraded ships, and there's now different systems, you're moving ships from one system to another, I can see then the Liberator being a really useful ship. But I can also see it only being useful for that. So if you're moving a fleet around, very rarely I can see this being something to rent in game as opposed to buy with cash. We have the Spartan. This just came out. Now the one good thing about the Spartan right now is if I go to buying options, will it show me here? The reason why you might want to get a Spartan is if you get it war bond, which means with cash, not with credit, you can get this with lifetime insurance and then upgrade it in the future into another vehicle. So this is currently considered like one of the cheaper token ships. What you could do is if you upgrade, so I want to upgrade the Spartan from all ships, I could look at something here. Like an Avengers Stalker is not really going up in price that much, so it's never going to go up another $20, I don't think. So you could always get an upgrade from Avenger Stalker to a Spartan, and it says it's 60, says this is 80, but if you look at the different options, I'm choosing the War Bond edition, which is actually cheaper, so it's actually $5. So for $5, you're getting an upgrade from a Titan to a War Bond Spartan, and at the same time, you're saving money, and this War Bond can be applied at, or this CCU can be applied at any time. Also right now, if you do want a Spartan, why not get an Avenger Stalker, then upgrade it for $5 to get the lifetime insurance for the $80 value. So because or is that because it is cheaper? Maybe it is cheaper, maybe that's not what you have to do. Maybe you don't have to because the War Bond currently is cheaper. But this CCU right now is a pretty good deal for $5 to get something that you could then eventually upgrade in the future to a Spartan, and then upgrade this lifetime insurance Spartan into something bigger. So that's something to look into now if you're looking at saving yourself a CCU. Next ship after that, we'll look here. The Terrapin, fun ship to fly. I wouldn't pay $220 for the Terrapin at all, especially since scanning doesn't seem to be super useful at the moment. And this is something you can buy in game, but the Terrapin is there. We have the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie is a good, solid ship to play with. If you have a small crew using it as like a drop ship, it's a pretty interesting game to play. So I like the Valkyrie. Next ship after that is the Terrapin for $220. Terrapin is not a ship I would spend $220 on. It's a ship that is really fun to fly. I love how it looks. I mean, it's not fun to fly because it flies really well. It's fun to fly because it's this little turtley tank. The scanning option isn't really useful right now. There's really no scanning feature to spend for $220. Also, you can do scanning with an MSR when that comes out, I believe. I'm not sure. There's a couple other ships. I would buy this in game. $220 seems like a lot of money to buy a Terrapin for. Last one for Anvil, the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie is a solid troop transport ship. Lots of seats, some storage. I think you can probably fit some vehicles in here, like a fairly large number of vehicles. I don't know if you can fit like the new Spartan in here, but I would assume you could. And if so, that's going to be awesome because you can put the Spartan in here, have all your troops in here, get the troops out on the ground, have some air support while you're coming from the ground also. So Valkyrie's a cool ship, $375, fairly expensive, but another ship to kind of look at in the game. Going on to the next, we're going to RSI. RSI basically has two flyable styles right now. I mean, we could also include the is it the Eclipse? Is that what it is? I can't remember what it's called now. I'm already forgetting. My mind is blanking. But we have some concept ships. We have the Apollo Medevac and the Apollo Triage. These are two relatively similar air ambulance type ships. The big difference is one is a lot more armored and gunned than the other one, where the other one is more for speed and rescue. Comes with these little drones eventually. They're not really implemented in game yet. The little flying medical beds. You can see one down here with a little body strap to it. This is so that you can have someone load a person into this drone on the ground while you're piloting, and then you can suck them up in the ship and get them safe. They'll have medical facilities to at least do some support of injuries that are bigger than what a med gun can handle. So the two ships, part of medical gameplay, still in concept, still not available. I'm assuming Cutlass Red maybe is the loaner for this. I could be wrong on that. Someone knows, they can let me know. Next we have the Auroras. We have the CL, the ES, the LN, the LX, the MR. I thought there was one more, but that is it. Not a huge difference to a lot of them. I do like the LN. This is probably my favorite Aurora to fly. What a fighter. I looked at the luxury version, and I really can't say I can tell what made this luxury or not. It's an Aurora. But the Aurora is a ship that I still like. A lot of people think it's dated. A lot of people say go with the Mustang is so much better than the Aurora. I like the Aurora. The Aurora is the ship that I've really enjoyed playing, and it is the ship that I started with the game. Current ship value, $30 to buy an Aurora and add it to your thing. But if you're getting the game package, it's $40.50. You get the Aurora. Or sorry, it's $45 for the Aurora, where the Mustang is $40.50. I would say right now for saving $450, the Mustang, they're pretty close in what their ships and what they're capable of doing, and you're able to upgrade the game, upgrade your ship, or buy a new ship in game fairly quickly. Maybe go with the Mustang if you're really just wanting to get in game and spending the minimal amount of possible. $40, you become a backer and you're in the game. That is the minimum. We have the Constellations, all really similar. You would see I've been playing with them. The Aquila, the only big difference is this one is a lot fancier, more luxury inside, and this one here does not have ship-to-ship docking. Can hold 2 rocks in it, so a great ship for if you're doing rock mining with some people. Also holds a lot more cargo, so you can do cargo hauling. I like they put it in the more industrial background here. And I love these little flaps opening up for the VTOL engines. That's cool. And then we have the Mantis. That's the one I was thinking of. I called it, what I call it, the Eclipse. It's the Mantis. This is a ship that's one I haven't really used that much. I believe this one has like an EMP on it. I could be wrong on that. $150 for that. And, oh, I totally forgot this was coming up. This here is the ship I love. This is my dream ship, and it is $575. Oh, that is painful to look at for someone like me who loves this game so much but has not spent nearly that much money on this game. And here it is, one ship, $575. Oh, but look at it. Look at this ship. This is, out of any ship in this game, this is my dream ship. This is the ship that I've always, since the first time I saw it. And when I first saw it, it was like only like $300, maybe $325, I think was the original price. It's gone up to like $250 since I've seen it. And I still love this ship. This is the Orion, which is, you got the hand mining, then you got your Grey Cat, then you got your Grey Cat dual seat, then you got your Prospector, then you got the Argo Mole, and then finally the Orion, where you have a massive mining ship with turrets, with scanning beams, with grinders, with a little bit of a refinery in here. Oh, and I just love the look. Like I was talking how there's ships that are like Star Wars ships and Star Trek ships, and I'd say Port Alsar kind of reminds me a little bit of like 2001 Space Odyssey. This reminds me of Aliens, and that is the look I love. The heavy, industrial, who cares about aerodynamics when you're going for function? Like, this is like the Nostromo. I love this ship. Like, if I could have a ship to fly around, this is the look I love. That's why I like the Reclaimer. Pretty, almost terrifying ship to be inside because it's just got this scary atmosphere, but it looks cool, and I'd put this one on the same level and then bump it up another level. This is my dream ship. And one day maybe I'll own an Orion, but I'm nowhere near owning this now, and I just, oh, I could just stare at this picture forever. And I was really, this isn't available. I don't know when it's going to be available. Still in concept, but I just love this ship. This is my dream ship. I could talk about this for a while. I'm going to keep going, so I'll keep looking at it. And then we got the Perseus, which is a large combat frigate for 650, and then we have the Polaris for 750. Now, I'll point out one thing. A lot of these ships aren't available all the time and for limited amounts. Like, if I go to view buying options, is there even any available? There is one available. There you go. So there is a Perseus available. If I go to the Polaris, it's still available also. A lot of times, I wasn't sure if these were one of the ones that have limited hauls. There are some ships that aren't going to be available. These ships aren't available all the time, like the Orion, the Polaris, the Perseus, not available at all time. After the Expo, this is going to be gone. This is not going to even be a buying option until the next event where this pops up again. So some ships are available all the time. You can always buy an Avengers Titan. You can't always buy these ships. Then we have the Scorpius. This is another relatively new one in concept. So as opposed to the ships that are flyable, it's another one that's being developed, but this one's a little bit farther along, I believe. This is a pretty awesome heavy fighter. These wings open up. This turret, there's a turret that's operable, I believe, by the pilot that can face forwards and backwards. So that's a pretty cool idea, because you could then go into, like, say, uncoupled, or have maybe blades eventually where you have like AI helping fire turrets and defending. This can defend on all sides. Possibly could have a second person in there. Maybe I'm kind of misremembering, but I kind of thought the turret was operated by the pilot. $220 for a heavy fighter. There's the Scorpius. And then the Ursa Rover. $50. You know what? Ursa Rover's not super useful, but for $50, I think it's probably worth it in the game. I don't have one. I would buy one in game. I did have one for a while, but with the wipe, it's gone. Fun to drive around. And it's just, if you want to just kind of explore from ground level and have a ground level vehicle, the Tumbrils are fun, but the Ursa Rover is kind of a cool one too. Fits inside the constellations. I think there might be a constellation actually comes with one, although I'm not certain about that. So those are the RSI ships. And I would love to go back and look at the Orion, but we've got to keep going. So next up is Aegis Dynamics, and that has the Avenger. Now the Avenger Titan, this one here, $55. There is a starter pack. I think it's $75. I could be wrong on that. Just show up here. No, starter pack, $70. $70 for a starter pack. If you really like the Titan, that's a cool starter ship. People do like that. It's got a solid ability for fighting. It's got a nice interior for doing box and cargo missions. Pretty easy ship to fly. Pretty fun. The look is very much like a space shuttle to me. So as opposed to looking at Star Trek ships or Star Wars ships, this is kind of more real world in my opinion, because the tiles even on it, the heat shield tiles, reminds me of space shuttle. Referred to by some people as a penguin because it kind of looks bird-like with its black and white. But there's the Titan. The Titan Renegade. It's a little bit different loadout. This is a livery that you can't get on other Titans. We have the Warlock, which is an EMP version of this. You sacrifice storage for having an EMP ability in there. We have the Stealth Bomber. This was more like a torpedo bomber. The Eclipse here. We have the Gladius, older style but really fun to fly fighting ship. There's a Valiant, which is a variation of that. If you have a crew and you're looking to do a lot of missions, a lot of combat missions, the Hammerhead is the ship to get, because you have the pilot being able to fire forwards. You have gunners in each of these turrets, and you could just do a massive amount of damage. This is a terrific, formidable ship. Really hard to take out with another one. And the Idris, in production. So as opposed to in concept, in production means they're getting farther along. So this ship is getting along in the game. Still not available in the game. Also, $1,500 US to buy this ship. This is going to be a massive combat frigate. This is definitely something that if you're part of an org, your org might be going together to getting a ship like this, as opposed to individual players. Although, hey, if you got or sorry, 1,500 to spend on this game, and you really want to go right ahead. But very few of us have that money. And then we have the Javelin. Now, if you were here for the Fleet Week, you would actually be able to get a tour on little bits of the Javelin, go into the ship and check out parts of it, and you could just see how massive that ship was. And that was only a small portion of it. $3,000 to buy this Javelin, just this one ship. And again, this is a ship that's in production, not one that you can currently get. I don't know what the loaners for this. There's probably more than one loaner ship when you're buying the Javelin currently. The Nautilus is a mine layer, so these little things here are going to be little mines that you're dropping off in an area of combat, or maybe to protect an area. So any ships flying through these mines will probably be smart mines that will try to attract to them and blow them up. So the Nautilus is kind of a mine layer, 725 for that. The Reclaimer's an awesome, cool ship. I loved having the ship. Don't try to take off from Orson and fly into space unless you got 45 minutes to waste in a Reclaimer. But it's not fast, but it's a large refinery, not a refinery, a scrap salvage ship. So this is a ship that eventually will be grinding up hulls of different ships and components, taking components out that you see. It's super cool. Another one of the aesthetic I like, of just heavy, dirty, industrial. This is another ship I like. This is why I like some of the Drake ships. I'm getting into liking the interior of them, just because as much as I like the 890 and I like the Origin ships, I also love the look of these ships. When I think of like a spaceship, I think of the ships like this. So what a great looking ship. And then the Redeemer. This is a relatively new ship. Now, does this one come with LTI? I don't know. 10-year insurance on the war bond on this one. So still pretty cool. The Reclaimer is definitely a heavily armored ship. If you don't know anything about the ship, this ship was one that was designed by the community, at least in part. So this is a kind of a cool ship. So fly today for free. Take out the Redeemer and give it a try. We have the Retaliator, a couple of versions of that. The Saber, lots of versions of Saber in the Harbinger. So we have the Vanguard Harbinger, Hoplite. Slightly different for what they do. Like, look at Introduction, drop ships. This has like different people in it. This one is a bomber, so it has the torpedoes. And then we have the Warden and the Vulcan. And the Vulcan is repaired. So these drones aren't currently in game, but these repair drones are going to be something that's going to be used for repairing ships on the go as a support. Otherwise, you might be out there with damaged components and not be able to jump back. The Vulcan's one that's going to be able to do medium repair. So that's the ships that are available for Aegis. And that brings us to currently today, November 22nd, and the alien ships. And this is the Karthu All, which is the cool, almost opening up like a big flower, I think, but it was like a solid, cool looking, evil looking ship. And I love, so you sit in the cockpit here, and the whole ship goes from a flat to an upright position, and these blades open out with the engines on them, and these pods spinning around the engines, and the engines all sound awesome. I just loved flying the ship. I didn't do a lot of combat in it, but I just flew it around and just really enjoyed the sound of this ship. When I talk about sound design in this game and one of the Inside Star Citizens, my first thought was how cool this ship sounded. This is one that I really liked. We have the Nox Flight Ready Competition Racing. This is like a speeder bike if you have like the Drake Dragonfly or the Nox, or is it called the X1? I think the other one is. Very small, open cockpit racing kind of bikes. They hover on the ground and they just fly around. The Nox, you're kind of sitting inside, a little more shielded than something like the Dragonfly. Dragonfly, though, two-seater, so you could have a passenger on that. We have the Santokia, which is in concept, so this is one I've never seen, but it's got kind of the same cockpit as the other one I was looking at. And that's it for Apoa. So is there no... Weird. So there's no other ships, or do I have to keep going down? Why can't... Oh, here's why. Here's why. Because there's different manufacturers. There we go. So now we're on to Banu. This makes sense. Banu Defender. What a cool ship as well. Weird weapons on it. I can't remember what they're called, but they're like more of like a distortion weapon. Only available if you're having this ship here. This is its parked mode. When you go into combat mode, These arms swing out forwards and kind of lock in place, almost like a boomerang shape. You enter through the middle here, and you can get into either of these cockpits, which I wasn't sure. I thought there was just like a little climb in the cockpit. Here's the engine, but there's like a whole little interior space here. No bathrooms. I guess Banus don't poop. I don't know. Banu Defender. Cool ship. I liked it. I liked the green kind of overlay in the HUD. It was kind of neat. We have the Merchantman. Oh my god, another awesome ship. Another ship that is only available for limited times. This is a ship that is awesome and going to be amazing when it's out. This is a ship that I also really like, even though it's a little more of a, say, Farscape or Lex design of more like a almost organic look to it. But again, a cool looking ship. This is going to be like a heavy freight transport, as well as I think shops or potentially ways to like sell inside these ships. This is going to be a cool ship. Another ship, 550, going to be more like an org type ship. And that is it for Banu. Asperia. We've got the Blade, a cool light fighter. This is more what I thought the Banu Defender was going to be like when I first flew the Banu. We have the Glaive, which is a bigger version. Look at the guns on this ship. You can tell that this is something that means business. And the Prowler, which is more of a drop ship. So it's got all these locations for combatants, I should say, to climb in and lock into place. Kind of reminds me, if you saw, what's it called? Live, Die, Repeat? Was that it? I can't remember. The one with Tom Cruise where he keeps like coming back. This was the ship like that they were dropping in. Kind of reminds me of the Prowler in the design for that. And the Talon. There's two Talons here. You can see they kind of look like a bird with bird wings that open up, bird head. Cool windows on them when you get in there and you power up the ship. These windows are all blacked out and they start to kind of click and open in a way to allow you to see. Really cool. And then we have Gattac. Again, nothing you can fly, only in concept. We have the Raelin, which I thought was small until I saw interior ships of the Raelin. And the interior ships, interior photos, they show you how big the ship actually is. So this is a pretty big freight ship. So we also have some collectible series pins for the aliens. Like, these are physical items. You buy something like this, if you spend $40 on physical merchandise, you'll become a backer, but you won't be able to play the game. But you'll get the free items whenever they say free for backers. But you can get some physical items mailed to you. So those are the alien ships, and I can't look farther because we're now on November 22nd. So we have to wait. We have to wait till tomorrow before we can look at what other ships are available. So I am going to just kind of post this. I'm going to quickly edit it together, post it. Hopefully you kind of enjoyed looking at some of the ships that are available. Get out there and fly those ships and tell me what ships you're really interested in seeing, what ones you've been flying, what ones you like. I'm interested in seeing that. And hopefully when things kind of settle down after the expo, I'm going to start getting more videos out. But I'm going to start putting out at least little things like this, talking about available ships here. And if I see anything cool or I try anything cool in the game, I'm going to be putting those out. But don't expect a ton of videos for the next week or so, because work is getting crazy before the holidays, and then once that's done, I'm at least going to have a couple weeks off, so I'll be able to produce some content around Christmas time. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the verse.